So yesterday we discussed about this change state and management, right? So these are the roles within this change. Ideal, admin, change. Like this ideal and ideal admin is common for all. Change management, change manager, SN change lead, SN change lead. So when general will give ideal roles for everyone. So any user with ITL role can access incident change, problem request, any of those. Okay. So general will give this ITL role only. So let's see what does each role means. So you can just have a look. Don't just by heart. Just have a look. That's it. For 2 minutes. I never say to by heart anything. Just understand the concepts. If you are really good at by hearting, then it's fine. Okay. So I'll move to the next slide.
Yes.
Okay. So how a change can be created. A change can be created from manually. A change can be created manually. A change can be created from incident management, problem management, and configuration management. And a change can be created from service catalog also, from portal also. Okay, from portal only standard changes can be created. Okay, so I'll show you how a change can be created, and let's see the life cycle. On the form, I think my instance is waking up. So after you start your configuration or your instance might sleep. If you don't log in for few hours, nothing will happen. After yeah, again yeah, it woke up. It will sleep actually, but after 5 minutes, it will again wake up. So let me search for change, create, create new. Yeah, so in all, so these are all the standard changes. See, there is something displaying right as pre-approved. So these are all the standard changes. So we can create normal emergency change manually, but we can't create standard changes how we create this normal emergency changes. So we should create a standard change template, and the standard change template will be used by the agents in order to raise a standard change request. For example, these are all the standard change requests, right? So are actual templates. So if you want to create a standard change request for this add network switch to the data center or something, so I click on it. So it will have some fields auto-populated. So it will have some fields auto-populated as per the template. And once we fill all the other required fields, then we click on save and move it to the assess state. Okay. But now let's see normal change request. Okay. So let's create a normal change request. Just ignore the assignment group and assign to. So anyways, when we're creating a change request, should be in the new state. We should provide the short description, and we should provide all these mandatory details also. Currently it's not mandatory, but as per the client requirement these fields will be mandatory. Justification means why you want the change request to be implemented. Provide your justification, and what is your plan, how you want to implement the change, and what is the risk and impact of this change, and what is a backward plan if something happens wrong. So what is your backward plan? Okay, and what is the test plan after implementing the change. So what is the test plan that you have? We should fill all those details in these fields, and we should give some planned start and planned end date. Planned start date is at what time you're planning to implement this change, at what time you're planning to end this particular change. Okay, so we need to fill all these details and just ignore this field. Just ignore this field. Actually, this field is not necessary. Let me populate with some value. Yeah. Anyways, like click on save. As I said, when any change request in a new state, so it not, it means it's still in the filling stage only. It's still in the fields population state only. So when I click on request approval, it will move to the SS state. So the approval will get triggered. The first level of approval will be triggered because it was a normal change request. Okay. So see, approval got triggered and it will be approved. So the first level approval can be your project man, like your team manager or the CAP members also. Okay, it depends. It depends upon how your client is actually managing change requests. Okay, so once it was approved, it automatically change it to other estate. So in other estate, there will be second level approval. So second level approval will be triggered. See, so once it was approved, so once the second level approval is done, it will automatically move to the schedule state. See, so when, so you'll select some particular time, right? For example, I want to implement this change. I want to implement this change today at 8:43, and I want to stop implementing this change. Like the change will be implemented successfully by this time. Consider 8:58.
Kalki, I have
Okay.
a question.
Mm,
So this planned end date,
mm.
it'll be internally discussed, right? Because we cannot.
You should
I guess.
actually think. You
Okay.
should actually think and come with the time. So if you feel this change will take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 2 hours or 3 hours, as per that, you
Mhm.
should put that planned end date time. Okay.
But we have a like a total life cycle of this, right? Because it will be approved, then scheduled, then
Mm. Implemented.
cab members will be included,
Yeah.
and they'll. So
Yeah.
the TAT time, like how we can decide that, like within
You
what
should
time it should be.
actually. You should
Uh,
actually. So the person who is actually creating the change request, the person who want to do some change in the IT infrastructure, they'll create the change request, right? He should decide
mhm.
at which time you want to implement this change. You want to implement this change in business hours or non-business hours. If it's in business hours, in which time? If it's non-business hour, at which time? You should actually decide and put that start date and end date. Okay?
Okay, got it, got it. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
So when it was approved in authorized state, it will move to a schedule state automatically. So when this particular time comes, so when the time is 8:43, I just put some random time 8:43 December 12, sorry, December 3, 2025. So when this time comes, so the user who should actually implement this change, so it will be assigned to that particular user. Uh, for example, let's take some random group. Okay. Mm, some random I'm just taking some random group. Okay, please ignore that group. So the change request will be assigned to that group. So this particular user is responsible to implement this change. Okay, so when this particular time comes, you will click on this implement state. So this change request will move to the implement state. See, wait. Yeah, see, the change request automatically move to the implement state. So whenever change request in implement state, it means the change is being implemented currently. Okay, so when the state is moved to implement state, there are new two change tasks which will be created automatically out of the box. One is for implement and one is for post implementation testing. So you will implement after you complete the implementation, you should close this implement task. Okay, you should close this implement task once the implementation is done. Okay, so assigned to is the
I
person
mean, see,
who
every
is responsible for implementation.
Sai.
Okay,
As for the every change request, there is a C task should be created. First of all, we should be close this C task, and after that, will the change request automatically closed, right?
please come again.
I mean to say, every change request there is C task is available.
Yeah,
Once
yeah.
the change implementation part is done, then first we should be close the C task, and after if we close this change request and directly the C task will not be closed, right?
So let me explain it. Please mute yourself. I'll just explain. Okay. So there are okay. So what happens is whenever a change request is moved to the implementation state, new task will be created. New change task. One is for implementation. One is for post implementation testing. So once the implementation will be done, the user will close this change task. Okay. And as I said, we should provide the details of test plan, right, in the change request. So as per the test plan, again, you should open this test change task, and you should do the testing for that particular change, and you should close the testing once it was successful, once the testing is successful. Okay. So once this both change tasks, or once this both change tasks will be closed, the change request will be automatically moved to that review state. Before it was only implementation state, and these two change tasks got created, right? Once this both change task will be closed, then the change request will automatically move to the review state. I think I answered your question. Did I?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, I answered.
Okay. Yeah. Please mute yourselves. Yeah. So whenever these two change tasks will be closed, automatically the change request will move to the review state. So in this review state, what will happen? Either a change manager, team manager, or either you. It depends upon the process flow of your client is actually managing. So they will review this particular change is successfully done or not, to know whether everything is fine or not. If they feel everything is fine, they'll mark it as closed. Okay. So close code successful. So if it is successful, but if it has issues, so they will select this particular close code. So if they feel unsuccessful, they'll mark this change request unsuccessful. So if they feel everything is good, then we'll mark it as successful, and they'll close it. They'll provide the close notes that way they are closing it. Okay. For now, let me put it as test and click on save. So it will be closed. What is this P1 case again? Arshdeep.
P1 means a priority,
This is change
priority
request,
one.
right? Okay, you're asking about incident or change?
No, no, incident.
Okay, you're asking about incident. So they can change the
Yeah.
priority. But you mentioned plan started and plan ended time, and you're saying incident.
Yes. I thought it's incident plan
No, no,
ended.
this are no, these are for change. But even if it's incident, even if it's incident, so if
Hmm.
like by default all the incidents will be in priority three state. So priority three. Okay. If they feel it was
Okay.
priority two or priority one, they can change it. Okay. No problem with that.
Okay.
So the SLA will be created as per the updated priority. Okay. But this
Okay.
plan start
Kalki,
date
what is
and
the
plan end
difference
date is
between
for change request. Hmm?
what is the difference between change and incident?
Incident is nothing but an issue. Change is nothing but any change that will be done to the client IT. No, not only client, any change that will be
Hmm.
done to the IT infrastructure, like adding a server or IP address whitelisting or anything that will be changed to anything related to the IT infrastructure comes under change. Okay,
Okay.
that's the
It's
difference.
about it is depend upon the discussion about the management or client. It's
No, you should
depend upon.
actually no. We should actually know the difference between incident and change. Incident is means simply an issue. Change
Hmm.
means any change that will be made to the client IT infrastructure. Okay,
Okay.
like
Okay,
adding
Kalki.
a server or like server rebooting or IP address
Yeah.
whitelisting, anything, any change related to some network thing, anything, any change to the IT infrastructure will be considered as change, and incident means simply an issue. Okay.
Okay, Kalki. Okay, Kalki. Clear.
Any other questions until now from incident, problem, and change management? Any questions
Not from me. No.
from anyone? If not, I will continue with request management.
Hello, Sai. Can you please repeat the time prolong?
Please repeat
It's
them.
prolong. Yes, yes. Can you please repeat the scheduling plan start date and plan end date, the
So
process?
plan start date is the date when you want to implement this change. So you need to fill this both field values in the new state itself before triggering this change request for approval only. You should fill this both fields. Okay. Plan start date is the time at which you want to implement this change in the IT infrastructure, and end date by which time the change will be ended. So if you take, so if this particular change takes 1 hour to be implemented by you, then you could give a gap of 1 hour. If it takes 2 hours, you should give a gap of 2 hours. If it takes 3 hours, you should give a gap of 3 hours. Okay. And this actual start at actual end date means, so you put this plan start and plan end date, right? Like it's like desired date when you want to implement this change, right? But at which time you implement this change is actual start date. At which time did you end this change implementation comes under actual end date. When you move this state to implement, so plan start date will be populated with that. At that time, what was the time? So that time will be populated with the actual start date. So that will be the difference between plan start and actual start, and planned and actual end. Any other doubts? I think I cleared your doubt.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure.
Oh,
Thank you.
so it's not necessarily like every change will take same amount of time. Some changes will take around only 5 minutes. Some changes might take only 10 minutes. Some changes will take hours. So it depends. Okay. As per the time that you want to implement the change, you should put that time. Okay. So now let me create an emergency change request. Create new. This is what called change interceptor form. Okay. When I'm clicking on new here, and I'm clicking on new here for change. So it's, we have this page populating, right? This is what called change interceptor form. So if you click on emergency change, so let me create an emergency change request. So for now, I only populate the only these mandatory fields which were mentioned here. Okay, for now. But in real time, we will have this short description, category, this all those fields like these fields, and plan start date, plan end date as mandatory fields, because those fields are mandatory. They should be filled by the agent, okay, before processing the change request for approval. Okay, so if you see emergency, so we click on request approval, it should move to the authorized state. It should skip the assess state. You know, right? Because emergency change request will have only one level of approval. So it will directly skip, it directly change the state from new to authorized. So it was in authorized state and approval will get triggered here down. So someone will like a cab call will be triggered. So everyone will join in the cab call and they'll discuss about the change request and they will approve if they feel it's okay. If not, they will reject it. Okay. So approved. The next process will be same. Okay. The next process, all the next process will be same for every change request. Okay. So let me create a example standard change request now. So create new. So standard change request should skip assess and authorize because standard changes are pre-approved, right? So this is one of the standard change template. This fields are auto populated. These are actually we will configure it. Okay, we should actually configure the standard change templates, like these fields should be auto populated like that. Okay, so let's assign this to some group who might be responsible in order to implement this change. So I assign this like I'm assigning this change request to that particular groups, and that user is responsible to implement this change request. So click on save. Requested by is nothing but who is requesting the change request. Okay. So there is no SS button or there is no authorize button. There is only schedule button. Even in state, there is only schedule and cancel. So we click on schedule, so it will automatically move to schedule state. Okay. So standard change requests will not have approvals, right? So it will skip both these change states. The remaining process will be same. Okay. The all the remaining process will be same from scheduled to closed for all the change requests for all type of change requests. But as per the type like standard, normal, emergency, the states might get skipped. Okay. So when coming to this next one, request management. So request, what is a request? A request means requesting something new which you don't have access to, like requesting a keyboard, mouse, or requesting access to some internal portal, or requesting an access for a shared mailbox, or requesting access for a shared point, or you want to be added to some particular group, to some particular internal group. So so all these requests, for example, comes under request. So incident is an issue. A request comes under like this definition, right? An addition, modification, removal of product or service. So those are considered as request. So as the examples that I have said, okay, like a laptop, keyboard, mouse, a request to some request access to some portal, or requesting this Microsoft Teams admin access, or requesting add access or remove access for the shared mailbox. If you want to request for a new DL or requesting a parking sticker, there will be many things when you're working in a company you want to request to, which you don't have. So in that case, you will raise a request. So let's see how a request will be managed. So here we have something known as service catalog. So we have this Flipkart, Amazon, all those things, right? In the same way, we have something known as service catalog. Just copy and at the end of URL add SP. So this is service portal. So here you will have all the items which you can request for. So if you click on this request something, so it will display some categories, and these categories will have some requestable items. Okay, like for this request a keyboard, like so these are actually some demo data, like Apple iPhone 13 developer Mac. These are the actual demo data which ServiceNow provided for me. Even you will have this. Okay, so this is some of the requests. So what a user can request. Okay, so this is what called service catalog, some collection of items which the user can use to raise a request. Okay, just have a look of it. So they can browse whatever they want, they can just search. So the user can just search like keyboard request like this. So the user can search and it will be displayed with this catalog item. These are actually called as catalog items. You learn it at the end. Okay. So just study these two lines and I'll move to the next slide. Okay. So these are the roles within this request management. So ITL role will be common, who is responsible to manage the requested items and task raised by the user. Okay, and upper user is the person who is responsible to approve the request, and catalog editor, catalog manager, catalog admin, catalog bill editor is like to build or edit or manage the catalog items. Like as I shown you, right, request a keyboard, these all are actually known as catalog items. So let's see how these requests are actually managed. So when end user raise a request, for example, consider an I am an employee of the organization, I want to request for a mouse. Okay, as I said in the first class also, I can't go directly to the IT team and say that I want a mouse. Do you know what he will ask? He will ask the RATM number. So what happens here is, so he should create a request for keyboard. He should go to the service portal and find out the keyboard catalog item and create a request for keyboard. So after creating a request in the portal, three actually by diff out of the box, two records will be created in two tables. So whenever user raise a request will be created and an RATM will be created. Okay, so whenever a user raises a request will be created and an RATM will be created. RATM full form is requested item. Okay. So when we raise a request for the particular catalog item, there might be some flow configured. There might be not. There will be definitely a flow that will be configured for each catalog item. Actually, we are the responsible people as service developer. We will configure the flow. If the client wants something like this, so whenever user raises a request for keyboard, an approval should be routed to manager, requested for manager. So if I raise the request, after raise the request, so an approval should be routed to my manager. So once he approves, then a task should be created and should be assigned to like assigned to some group who might be responsible to fulfill the task for you. Okay, if the client says that you want like this, so we should configure the flows in the back end. As a service developer, we should configure. So consider there is a situation like this. So whenever user raise a request for keyboard, an approval is routed to manager. Okay, once the see in this step, user raise a request. User will open the service portal and will select the particular catalog item and will submit the form. Once they submit the form, the approval will be routed. The approval will be routed. So once the approver approves it, task will be created. If the approver rejects it, the RATM and request both will be closed without creating task. So only if the approver approves, then the task will be created and will be assigned. So for this example of keyboard, so IT team will be responsible, right, to fulfill the task, to fulfill the requirement for you. So the task will be assigned to IT team. So once it is approved, you will go to that IT team physically and you will say your RATM number. So then you will open the task form. Then you will open the task form and you will verify the details with you, and he will give you the keyboard, and then he will close the task. So once the task will be closed, then RATM will be closed automatically, and then request will be closed automatically. Have you understood this life cycle in this slide? So once the request will be submitted, if the flow is configured to have approvals, then the approval will be triggered for the approver. So once he approves, then task will be created and will be assigned to the fulfillment group. So if the approver rejects it, the RATM and request will be closed there itself. So only if the approver approves, then task will be created and assigned to the fulfillment group. So once the fulfiller fulfills the requirement for you, then you will close the catalog task. Then you will close the task which directly closes the RATM and request automatically. Okay. I think
Yes,
who might be working, I think they knows this process. So whenever you raise a request, an approval will be routed, and once the approver approves it, you'll go to that particular team, and once they fulfill the task for you, they will close the task. They will close the task manually. So when the task is closed, then the request and RTM will be closed automatically. Okay.
yes,
Any other questions? So one go. See, if you see this, so when a request is raised, request is submitted, a request will be created, and RTM will be created. So if it has any approval, for example, manager approval, then when the manager approves, then a SC task will be created and will be assigned to the group. when we assign to the fulfillment group who might be responsible to fulfill the task for you. So once he fulfills the task for you, then he will close the task, and then this RATM and request will be closed automatically. Okay, if the RATM is having multiple tasks, then all those tasks should be closed, then only the RATM and request will be closed. Okay, so there might be some cases, uh, where multiple groups might need to work in order to fulfill the request for you. In that cases, multiple tasks will be created. So in that case, all the tasks should be created, as all the tasks should be closed, then only the RATM and request will be closed. Okay, so our request can be created. A request can be created directly in ServiceNow. A service desk agent can create it for us if we call them, or if we chat with them in Teams, or if we go to them physical and ask. The other way is self-service from service portal. And the third one is integration. If we integrate our ServiceNow instance to some other application, so the other application can create a request in our instance. Okay, through API. Okay, the next one is virtual agent. I shown you the chat bot, right? Yeah, through this also a user can raise a request. Okay, and walk-up experience. You can go physically to the service desk team, and you can ask to raise a change. Sorry, to raise the request. So they will raise the request for you. Okay. So for example, let me create a request. Let me create a request for some out of the box catalog. This is called catalog items. Okay, there will be some flow configured for this, so it will run as per that. So you should fill all these values and click on order now. See, a request got created. So just let me copy this name and let me route to the request table. C underscore request table. I think it's 17 or 16. Yeah, 16. So this is the one. So I raised that request, right? So requested for is my name. Okay, my name is system admin. If you can just see, my name is system admin here. For you also, it will be system admin only. So whatever the name will be there for you, so that name will be populated in requested for. And see down here, requested item also got created. So it says, yeah, the requested item that I have created is that I requested for is Apple iPhone 13. If I open this, so the approval will be, so like the flow will run actually. So it was saying it's in the manager approval stage. See, see. So once the manager approves, for example, so consider manager approved it. So any request can have multiple approvals also. Okay, but this request is having multiple approvals. Approved, and let me refresh this page once again. Yeah, order fulfilled. See, carrot task got created. Only when it was approved, then only carrot task will be created. If it will be rejected, then the RTM will be closed. It depends upon the flow how we configure it. Okay, but mostly 99.99% once it is approved, the carrot task will be created. When it's rejected, the RTM will be closed automatically. So this procurement group will be responsible in order to fulfill the task for you. So once they fulfill the task for you, requirement for you, they will close it manually. And let me refresh this page once again. But yeah, for this particular, yeah, there is some other cat task also which got created. As I said, in some cases, multiple groups might be involved in order to fulfill the request for you. So in that case, multiple cat tasks will be created. Okay, let me once again refresh the page. Yeah, okay. For this particular item, there are only two catalog tasks. So once these both are closed complete, see then automatically the item got closed, complete stage got completed. Okay, this is an example. Okay, I think you understood it. So these are all the values which I have submitted. If you remember, I submitted in the portal, right? I have given some random number and all this. Okay, so the person who is working On your request, they should be able to see what values you have filled. Okay. Okay.
Yes,
So the
Kalki.
Okay.
agent will work on the task. Okay, so the task will be only assigned to them, not the request. Your client can say, your client might say that I want this R item also to be assigned to the group. If they want, we will configure that in Flow, but 99% cases, we will only assign these tasks. We will only assign these tasks to fulfillment groups that like who might be responsible to fulfill the request for you. Okay, so they will work on that catalog task and they will mark the catalog task as closed like that as per the thing. Okay. So do you have any questions with this request management? Anyone? Anyone? See, even if it's silly doubt, no problem. If you are having any silly doubt in your mind, no problem. You can just ask.
Kalki, if I want to practice like same y- you show us, so
Hmm.
what we do?
Yeah, you have a ServiceNow instance, right? So this is my ServiceNow instance, and you also request a ServiceNow instance, right? In that you can practice. In that you will practice. You should practice. Okay, the
Okay,
instance
Kalki,
that you
but
are having is the same as me, but this is my individual instance, and you're having your individual instance. Yeah, same. Yeah, tell me.
okay, Kalki, but I have some problem in uh, account creation, so that's why
Okay.
I am unable to practice.
Okay, like there's still a theoretical knowledge. Okay, so if you just want to explore, you can just explore. Okay, from
Okay,
tomorrow we will start creating these tables, fields, forms, configure the list, all those. From tomorrow we start it. So these all things are theoretical knowledge. But if you want to explore, you should have the instance. So you're having issue with creating of instance.
sorry.
So you're having issue with creation of instance.
Yes, yes, Kalki. And another one, there is one person in our group. Her name is Jagruti Madan. She's my sister. She also don't have on. She is also unable to create the account on there
Well, what is the problem?
on the service. Uh, we will show you
Okay,
after this lecture.
yeah, we'll show you at the end of the session. Okay,
Okay, Kalki. Okay, Kalki.
so let's now see what is order gate. So for example. So for example, a new employee joined a company, a new employee. So what might be the things a new employee might need? A laptop, a new email account, or a
ID
keyboard,
card, access card.
or yeah, ID card. So these are might be some of the things which a new employee might need, right? So in that case, so will it be easy if the if like if the manager routes to every single like if like it will be easy if the manager selects this id card and raise a request for id card, and if again he will search for computer and raise a request for computer, and again search for email creation, again raise a request for email creation, will it be easy? Or by keeping all those items, by keeping all those requested items at a single place and requesting from a single place, will it be easy?
The single point will be easy.
Yeah, single point will be easy, right? So that
Okay.
can be done through order guide. Simply order guide means bundle of items. So let me show you an example of an order guide which we have in our ServiceNow instance. So there is an order guide out of the box which you can also find it out, known as new hire. I think you understood, right? So instead of going to each catalog item and requesting them individually, what if we put all those catalog items which we need at a single place and request them as a single place at the same time? It will be easier, right? Rather than searching for each one and entering those details and again submitting, again searching for other thing, right? So this is one of the order guide which is out of the box available. So this order guide consists of all these catalog items. So these are some of the values which should be populated on the first page for the order guide. Okay, so these are the catalog items which are the part of this new hire, like standard laptop, monitor. So these are all the individual
So
catalog items. For
it is
example,
like
wait,
a
wait.
group of items.
Yeah, group of items, group of catalog items, bundle of catalog items. So he will just populate all these values from here. And so these all these laptop, monitor, new email account, corp, VPN, desk setup, these all are catalog items. So once these values are filled for all these catalog items, so you click on next and you will click on order now. So if you just see, a request will be created, but with multiple RATMs. Let me show you. It was 17. Mm, yeah, it was 17. Okay. If you just see, a single request got created, but multiple RATMs got created because you ordered laptop, VPN, desk setup, monitor, and new email account as a single request. Okay, as a single request. So because of that, multiple RATMs got created, but a single request got created. Okay, got it? So
Yes.
each item will have their individual flow. So once all the RATMs will get closed, then only this request will get closed. Okay. So each item will have their individual flow which will run in the backend, right? So they'll follow that. Each item will follow their particular flow which is running in the backend. Okay. So even though not only for order it will create multiple RATMs. So we have something like this also. Instead of clicking on submit or order now, so if you click on this add to cart, so for example, okay, instead of clicking on order now, I'm clicking on add to cart. Okay, and I'm just going to another catalog item, some random catalog item, and I'll fill these values also. And okay, it doesn't have this add to cart. So let's see another item which is having add to cart. Yeah, it has add to cart. Yeah, if you click on add to cart, yeah. So it works as your online shopping apps only. Add to cart all those. So we click on proceed to checkout. Checkout. Now a question for you. How many R items will be created? How many
Two,
R items will be created?
Two.
Hmm?
two.
Yeah, two. That's the answer. So if you just see, two R items will be created. See, but only a single request. Okay? Because in the cart there are two items. Okay. But it depends upon the client. If they want this add to cart button should be visible, they will. If not, they won't. It depends upon the client requirement. So any questions until now in this request management also? I think everyone understood this order guide. Simply, if even if you're interview, if you ask what is order guide is nothing but a group or bundle of catalog items. So if you want to just explain it briefly, you can explain all these things. Like for example, if you take a new hire, so these are the necessary things, right? So instead of routing to each catalog item and submitting the request, we can just keep all those catalog items. So you can just create an order guide and we can select all those catalog items within that order guide. You can just explain it if you want to explain. I think everyone got it, what I'm actually trying to say. Anyone is having any questions? Anyone? So anyone is having questions regarding this incident management, problem management, change management, request management? We are having 9 minutes left. So any doubts you can ask now. We can start tomorrow freshly with this tables, fields, forms, lists, all this. So anyone is having doubts regarding any of this? I can hear only 4 or 5 people are actually interacting. I'm not able to find or hear any questions from anyone apart from those.
So Kalki, one I think it'll be needed that navigation, this all
Okay.
these, yeah, this platform navigation, like where we have to go when it is a change, when it is a task, when it is a incident. So
Yeah, you'll
what
know it
all?
from tomorrow. You'll know it from tomorrow.
Okay,
Okay.
got it.
No problem.
Sure. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yes, sir.
Kalki,
Hmm. Yeah. Any one of you, please speak. Yes, please.
Kalki, the request, the user orders the request, so we create the backend request form or any.
We should
So
configure the flow. So we should configure the flow in such a way that whenever user raises a request, what should happen? Whether approval should be routed or not. If an approval should be routed, to whom the approval should be routed. If he approves, what should happen? If he rejects, what should happen? So even he approves, so next will there be any next level of approval? If it has, so who should approve? If it does not have any second level of approval, what should happen? A catalog should be created or not? If a catalog task should be created, to which group it should be assigned? So the complete thing we should actually configure. Okay, and these variables also we call them as variables, so each catalog item is having these fields, right? So which field should be there, so what field should have, like having which options, all those all those details the client will provide for us, so we should configure. You configure this form. Okay, you should configure this form, and once the user raises the request, what should happen in the backend, that also we should configure. Okay, but
okay,
as an end user, I'm saying how what will happen if the user raise a request. So what will happen? I said that. But the development part we should do. What should happen? The client will say that this should happen. So we should configure the flow as per that. Okay.
okay, Kalki. Okay.
Any other questions? So this is actually the demo data. Okay, but the client don't need this, right? This iPhone, Galaxy. Why do they need? They will have the specific requirements. So we should create these catalog items as per the requirement. Any
So
other
the
question?
client issue we need to configure backend. Any specific issue we need to get the form.
Any specific issue means? So these are requests, right? These
Means
are not issues.
oh, it's incident. Yeah, yeah,
Request. These are requests. Issues means
yeah.
incidents.
Yes, yes.
So even we should follow this. We should know the exact difference between incident and request. Even the client will know. Everyone will know. Okay, in that way only they will be managed.
Yeah.
Kalki, I have one. I don't know whether it is silly doubt or not, but as you were like exploring the this service now access, so like suppose I am end user, I have raised a request for something, okay,
Okay.
and there will be another one who will be accepting my request or rejecting or
Yeah.
anything which can be done ahead of that request. So, uh, like you were the one who approved the request and you were the one who
Yeah.
created the request just now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
in actual practice, there will be different access, right?
Yeah.
Who can accept and reject the request or
Yeah.
anything related to same.
So actually, this is a very, very important question. This is a very important question
Hmm.
actually. So
Hmm.
this is my personal instance. This is my personal instance. So as I created as per my wish and I approved it as per my wish. So if you just see, let me just show you. So here you have something known as approver, right? So what is the name of the approver? Natasha. So in real time, actually you as an admin, you can do everything on the ServiceNow instance. You actually can do anything. Even if consider this instance is in production, okay, and approval got triggered for Natasha. As an admin, you can approve it, but you shouldn't. You can only do the testing and all those things, all those gimmicks in your non-prod instances only. But in prod, you shouldn't approve it. Only the person for whom the approval got routed, only he should approve it. Okay. If he is not able to approve by any chance, if due to any reason, he should send a mail to your management or to your manager or to you. So you should attach that mail as a proof for this approval, and you should approve. Okay, but in real time you should never approve. Okay, in actually this is my personal instance. Even if it is in your dev or test, you can do. Even if it's a dev or test, you should test it, right? So you can do anything, nothing will happen. But in prod, you shouldn't do. You shouldn't approve. Okay, if you approve it, everyone will come on to you. Everyone will come on to you. You shouldn't approve. Okay.
Okay, okay, correct, got it. But my question was like, as an like for practice purpose, now I have created an instance
Hmm.
yesterday on ServiceNow.
Okay.
So, like, can I do it from single account, or do I need to create a multiple account for
For
different
requesting
roles?
things.
Like, for, ha,
You're asking for requesting, like
I'm
requesting
asking,
from
like,
here.
suppose as an yeah, like I have created a request from my end. Okay, now I need to approve it for practice purpose. So
Okay.
from the single account, can I play multiple roles as an admin or as an manager or as
Yes.
an
Yes.
requester?
Yes. Yes. That comes under impersonate here. Impersonate. So you are an admin, right? So what is this impersonate actually does is we can log into the instance as another user without knowing their credentials. So if I click on this able tutor, I can log into this instance as able tutor. So I can do all those things which able tutor has access to. So we click on this impersonate user. So that means currently I am into this ServiceNow instance as able only. So if you just refresh it, see currently it's system admin, right? It will change to able tutor. See? So whatever the things I will do now, it will be taken as able tutor is only doing that. Okay, like this you'll do testing because each user will have different
Okay,
roles. So in that case, you want to test it with different roles. So in that case, you will impersonate with the user who is having that role. Okay, this for testing purpose. Even in
yeah,
production
yeah,
also you can
yeah.
impersonate, but you shouldn't do anything. In testing or non-prod, you can do anything. Even it's testing or dev, you can do anything. Even in prod, they might actually in prod as a service developer, as like like 2 years or 3 years developers, they might not give you production access. Even if they give production access, you can impersonate if you want, but you shouldn't do any changes because what are the changes that you do while impersonating, it will be uh, done and it will be like that person actually done it. You shouldn't do anything. Okay, you shouldn't do all this testing, all those things in prod, even if you have access for production. Okay, so whatever the testing or whatever the gimmicks, whatever the things that you want to explore, you should do only in non-prod instances. I think I answered your question, right?
Yeah, 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 right. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
So if I click on able tutor and impersonate, and if I request this Galaxy S20, so the request, see the request requested for will be able tutor. Okay. So impersonation is nothing but we can log in into the instance as another user without knowing their credentials. Because here I clicked on able tutor and I logged into the instance as him. I don't know his credentials. That is what actually impersonate user does. Okay. And we can end it by clicking on an impersonation. Actually, I thought of saying in future, but yeah, question came early, no issues. Any other questions? Any other questions? And even we can control the
Not from
visibility
my
also.
side, Kalki.
Okay. Even we can control the visibility of catalog item also. So for example, we can make this catalog item to be visible only for some specific type of users also. Okay. It depends. We can configure it if the client wants it. Okay. If you don't have any doubts, everyone can leave. I stop the recording also. So the people who just said they're having issue with the creation of instance, they can stay. So everyone should have instance ready by tomorrow because from tomorrow you'll be having requirements every day. You should be doing you should be doing it. Yeah, Dheeraj. Yeah, who are the
Uh,
people are not having any doubts? Like one, yeah, Dheeraj. Doubt?
First, I had to create an account first.
Wait, let me stop the recording. So the rest of the people can leave.